because it's helpful.
Awesome. Well, good. I mean, if you're getting mileage out of it, use it. Welcome, everyone. We are live. Welcome to our daily success call for Tuesday, July 2021. John Lavinia here with you. And who else? Who else is here right now? I'm assuming this thing is going live. Is this working? I think it is working. Let's see who else we got here. Let's look at some of my favorite people. We got Susan over there hovering over the San Francisco Bay. Hi, Susan. What a great view you've got.
What can I say?
Yeah, that's
great.
Droppings
Yesterday.
Yeah. All right, we got Missy and Kristen. Nancy's here. Rob, good to see you. Kimberly, Crystal, Colleen. Hi, Pauline. Great to see you as always. Hey, Amber's here. Jayton, Jan, and Star and Tina. Ishmael, always good to see my friend Ishmael. Susan, Darla, Nayo from the land of the Kiwis. Good to see you, Gabe. And those are all the people I can see on the screen. We got a few more people, lots more people here who are not putting their cameras on for whatever reason. I don't know.
Nicole.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh, there's Leslie. Leslie, you're driving? Oh my goodness. You're driving. I didn't know you could drive. Good to see you, Leslie. All right. So what are we talking about today? Yesterday, we had someone bring up a topic out of the book Power of Consistency, which some of you are reading. Who is it that just said they were on chapter 3 with that?
Me.
Kimberly. Hi, me. Kimberly, yes. Hi, Kim. So I heard you, but I was not looking at who was talking at that time. So chapter 3, which is, I think, pretty interesting. I've read the whole book, but chapter 3 is about understanding the power of focus and your subconscious mind, which is not a new concept. I know certainly Missy and I have read a lot of stuff, including Joseph Murphy, right? You'll notice if you're going through these books, by the way, if you're newer here and you're just getting into, the whole idea of developing yourself, at least as much as you develop your business, right? You work on you at least as much as you work on your business, right? And if that's a new concept to you, what you'll notice, perhaps, as you start reading and developing your mind, is that there's no new truth here. This is not, the gospel according to John or something, right? Or any of these other authors that I recommended for you. This is easy to digest stuff that you could put to use in your life right now, including and especially the Miracle Morning, right? With Hal Elrod, his SAVERS acronym, right? So this is just good resourceful stuff you can do that you can do in actually as little as 7 minutes a day. You'll probably want to scale that up, but you could do as little as 7 minutes, which would be infinitely better than 0 minutes, infinitely better. But it's not because he's presenting to you some new data that didn't exist before, right? It's just, we're going to have some integrity and do some on-purpose action and transform, right? Create what we want to create. And actually, to put it more accurately, become more able to create what we want to create. Because as I've said many times to I think all of you, as you were getting started here in our group and in the whole low-hanging system and whatever, is that more important than what you do is who's doing it. The internet exists for anybody. E-commerce, right? Methods, plural, right? Methods, maybe make money, maybe lose money. I don't know, right? I mean, it's just, methods and data and possibilities, okay? Who's doing it? And so just before we went live, Missy had brought up the idea of, Missy's actually the host of these. I'm her co-host. She lets me talk a lot though. But she brought up the idea of doing things in a certain way, which is something that anyone who's ever read, not one of them on our reading list, because this is, I would say, more intense, okay? But, start with what I recommended. But definitely at some point, you got to read The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. That is a total must, complete must. Holy crap, holy, wow, what a book. And it's short. But he talks about in this book the idea of different people engaged in the same business activities having completely different results. So you see, that wasn't something I originated. And by the way, Wattles, the author, wasn't the first guy to observe that. This is observable since probably, the first caveman, went into business making wheels or something, And then, the other caveman wanted to be his competition or whatever. Okay, so this is a very observable phenomenon just in life, is that different people engaged in ostensibly the same actions can have totally different results. Why? Great question. Because the one who gets rich does things in the certain way. And in order to think in a certain way, or in order to behave in a certain way, you've got to think in a certain way. And this comes up again and again and again throughout the book. We're talking about a way of certainty. Look at the words, the certain way, the way of no doubt, the way of, as he talked about later in the book, purpose and faith. That's the certain way, purpose and faith. Knowing why you're doing it and knowing that you can. Not hope, I'll try. No, that's not certain. And so when we look at what would be the opposite of certainty, now getting to what Anissa introduced yesterday. Is Anissa here? I don't see her. But Anissa chimed in on this Power of Consistency by Weldon Long, where he talks about in chapter 2, as I recall. Here we are. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. I usually don't have exhibits for you during our morning session, but today is a special day. So here we go. Got some highlights in here from the last time I read this book. But this is in the chapter on chapter 2, Congratulations, You're Right, even when you are wrong. That's the title of the chapter. Congratulations, you're right, even when you're wrong. So what does that suggest to us? That suggests that there's law working here, which exists prior to our thoughts about it. And I can go ahead and think I can't, and I'll be right, even though I'm wrong. So it says here, you'll begin, this is just beautiful. And this is why I highlighted this. I was covering this with our book study group that I run with my mastermind, which some of you were asking for access to. Some of you have access to. I can put a link in the chat if you want to study books. We do that on Monday nights. That happened last night. But it says here, you'll begin to believe that you can achieve any level of success and prosperity in your life and business. Perhaps most important, you will find yourself strengthened and empowered to do the little things you need to do on a consistent basis to create new levels of prosperity and success in your sales career. He's writing this from the position of a guy who just spent 13 years in prison and had an awakening and had, I'm sorry, are you guys seeing my stuff? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And had like those final 7 years in prison to think on this and to become consistent in being this new guy, this guy who's no longer a criminal and who ultimately went into sales and business and making millions of dollars. The process, says here, the process of changing what's in your box is critical. When he refers to the box, for those of you reading the book, he's talking about inside your box of parts. Here are the component parts of whatever life you're building here, that you can only use what parts are inside the box. And he gives the example of if you had a box full of motorcycle parts, you would not expect the product to be a cake, right? The only thing you can make from what's in that box is the motorcycle, right? Not cake. So with that logic, some of you are getting a kick out of that. Read the book; it's pretty interesting. So to do so, we will use the upside of fear process. This is something. It was actually his previous book. He talked about FEAR. Because it's an interesting word and it's an acronym which he came up with. Do with it what you will. I think it's kind of loose, but still focus, right? And these subsequent chapters are all about the FEAR acronym, right? E for emotional commitment, A for action, R for responsibility. Responsibility, the R word. He uses the R word in this book, which is one of the reasons why I like this book. Because most people, you say the R word and they run in the other direction. So you think about that: focus, emotional commitment, action, and responsibility. So the opposite of the certain way would be, we could say, uncertainty or fear, doubt. Now, let me ask you this: does any intelligent action come from a fearful mind? Think about yourself when you're making decisions. Okay, and I'm not All right, let's just use the word fear. Never mind the acronym right now. Okay, but let's say a tiger. You're confronted by the saber-toothed cat. Okay, and you freeze up. Is that productive? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably the cat's going to eat you, right? What about or you run? Oh, a play toy. Let me swat at that, right? So the cat's going to get you again. Okay. What if you had let's take a step back, and what if you maintained more analytical ability rather than just being reactive and fearful? Okay. What if you said rock, throw, right? Bam, hit the cat runs away. Okay, you're probably going to survive, right? So does it benefit us to make decisions based on logic, reason, and postulating how can I win? What's the solution? Or, oh wow, there's the saber-toothed cat. I'm afraid, or whatever. Let me freeze up. So obviously, if we just look at that as one kind of interesting example, we could say it's more resourceful to keep our wits about us. Right. So if we could say now, all right, what would be the certain way? Well, you know what? If I was certain, you know what? If I did know that it was impossible for me to fail, what would I do? I can beat that cat, or I can succeed in that business, or I can overcome my health issue with the, perhaps fitness or, weight management or whatever, right? But my relationship with my ignorant but well-meaning friends, family, and neighbors, whoever, right? So I can do something about it. Yes, I can. The whole conversation shifts from I am the victim to I am responsible. I can cause something. Think about that, cause and responsibility. You can't cause anything that you don't accept responsibility for. Control and responsibility are inseparable in that way. So what do we have to do if we intend to? I know we're getting into some serious philosophy here today, but you asked for it. So what do we have to do? We have to consistently remember to assign cause to ourselves. This all comes under the heading of the law of laws, which is cause and effect, right? So as long as I am the effect of that cat, I'm reactive, I'm fearful, right? But if I am cause over that cat, and this is, remember what we were just talking about with Missy before we went live, this is laborious and requires the expenditure of more energy than any other work man is capable of. What is that thing that's laborious? Thinking. In fact, thinking truth, especially when it's contrary to appearances. Here's the cat that wants to kill me. And the truth is, I am way more intelligent than that cat. And my weapon, which is my mind, right, allows me to use tools, rock, right, vine, I don't know, right, firearms, nuclear bombs, whatever, okay? But I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And it's that certainty that I'm going to win. Okay, that doesn't mean...
Well, John was trying to get
background noise here.
That's my.
Okay, I just muted the... hey, Maggie, good to see you. But here's the thing. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if I don't win? Well, what if you don't try? You definitely lose, right? What if you don't decide to make no decision? Well, that's to succumb. That's to succumb. I you know what? I hope something happens to me. Maybe the gods will bequeath unto me, their good graces and rain down upon me, boons and gold bullion and a spear to kill the cat and spinach instead of the candy bars that I've been eating, so I can get my body in shape. Right? Perhaps something will befall me. Right? Now, good news for everyone. Amazingly good news. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you guys can handle this, because this is like some serious good news. Are you ready? You're not being threatened by saber-toothed cats anymore. Do I deliver or what? I know that was, you were kind of uncertain about that, but all the stuff that we're dealing with here isn't life or death. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe we've been so conditioned through thousands and thousands of years of evolution and all this kind of stuff to have your life threatened 3 times a day. And maybe you're not playing a big enough game. Maybe you're bored. What is the saying? Good is the enemy of great. Now, if it was succeed in this business, or there's a saber-toothed cat, what would your approach to the business be? Can we raise our necessity level to the point where not where we panic ourselves out and induce, fear? Because again, fear hasn't been useful. It definitely gave us in the story of the cat, it gave us haste, right? It gave us the ability to bypass a whole lot of Q&A, pick up, rock, throw, and then run, or whatever you got to do, time to fight, right? So it heightened our necessity level in that way. But think of it like this. Think of it like this. If we're talking about the difference between want to do and have to do, here's an example that I've used that I think will profit you, and has profited other people who I've shared it with. So you're standing on the street corner, and there's a burning building. Okay, let's say it's an electronics store, right? And there's TVs and electronics and stereos inside, right? And there's smoke coming out of the windows, and you're standing on the street corner with other, onlookers, okay? And you get this idea, and the idea is, you know what? I'm going to run in that store and I'm going to get a free TV, right? And you're standing on the corner and you're telling other people about it, right? Because you're doing the social thing, and they start talking you out of it. You know what? It's probably, you're going to risk your life for a TV. They might even be melted already. You're probably going to die. I mean, it's just a TV. What's your life worth, right? They're probably going to talk you out of it, and rightly so, right? That would be a good conversation to have. Great. So same scenario. You're on the street corner, and there's the burning building, and the smoke is coming out, and your kids are inside. You're going to stand around and like Q&A. Hey, what's your opinion? You know what? Let's really work this out. What do you guys think? Can we take a survey real quick? How about a committee meeting, right? Maybe we can vote on it. You're already in the building. In fact, you're already coming out of the building with the kids. What's the difference? Exact same building, exact same your fragile body, right? What's the difference? Necessity level, decisiveness, urgency. And we could see this playing out in business as well. If we can induce, here's the thing, and I've had this conversation with lots of people in like the home business space, network marketing, affiliate programs, direct sales kind of stuff, where I've done a lot of work. And I say to people, all right, so you just put what, $5,000 to get your business started. You got the starter kit with the jungle juice, and you got the website set up, and you got all the whatever, the brochures. Okay, so you're in it for 5 G's. Well, what if you treated it like you're in it for 500 G's? Let's add a couple zeros on there. You just put $500,000 on the table. Now, how are you going to operate your business? Because you can walk from $5,000. People do all the time. I've seen people walk from 50 grand. Just walk. Is it showtime or not? Right. So if we can induce that high level of necessity, like I've got to get this done now, like I've made a decision, not because there's a saber-toothed cat, okay, but because my goals are worth that much to me. And what we talk about with Waddles, the certain way we act with purpose. So I've got purposes, and they're real. They're real for me. And I've got faith that I can actually do it. Now, all of our actions become, as Waddle says, more efficient. I'm not standing around in a state of constant Q&A and indecision and procrastination and whatever other justifiers I want to throw on top of it to make me not look like such an idiot. Like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, you're still procrastinating. You're still not in action. You still haven't decided. And you'll know when you decided because you'll see your feet moving, right? You'll be acting in a certain way, whether you're right or wrong. And you can optimize as you go. And no, it's not a saber-toothed cat that's going to take your head off. So that's fine. You can make some mistakes. You don't have just one shot at this. Okay, so you damn well better hit him in the head with that rock. Okay, so you got multiple shots, but you miss every shot you don't take. So start taking shots. And what a beautiful thing as it relates to the method of e-commerce that you're all engaging in is that every time you take a shot, it doesn't cost you $100,000. And there are other methods that do. Or let's say 10 on the low end. 10,000. Let's source some of that product. You know what? I want those textiles over there from Vietnam. Oh yeah, we got to get the customs people. Who do we got to pay? Right? Oh, it didn't work out. Oh, the product got damaged in shipping. I'll buy it again. Delays, delays, delays. What a much more accessible path you have. But because of that low barrier to entry, just like the person who waltzed in on like some network marketing deal or something, don't treat it like you just waltzed in. I don't care how little money you put on the table to be here, right? This is your immediate and ongoing financial future. That's the game we're playing. So look at it as that, perceive it as that, and it's a whole different experience. Now we're running into that building with purpose and with faith. And whether we're right or wrong, we're going to do it. Right? Because if not, well, you miss every shot you don't take. I don't know if that example helps you. If you're not a parent, you may not relate to that as much, but I could tell you that there are many stories of superhuman strength and like all kinds of amazing feats of spectacular awesomeness when the kid needed help or the loved one. You know what I'm talking about? Like here's grandma lifting up a car off of the kid, like, oh my goodness. And then, the rest of the story is she collapsed onto the street and she's taken to the hospital. But in that moment, right? Superhuman strength. Anyway, I hope this profits you, this idea or these ideas that we're talking about today, that there is, as Weldon Long talks about, the upside to fear. And it is all about inducing certainty in yourself. That in fact, it's the same energy that you use to stop yourself, that same energy that you use to well up all the stomach churning doubt and, oh, I don't know if I can, and what if I fail, and all the stories from your past blunders and how not good enough you are, and blah, 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 blah. It's that same energy that you can now take and you can use to guarantee success because you're powerful. Oh my goodness, yeah, you are. Whether you're right or not, it's going to happen. Something's going to happen, right? And who's causing it? There's back to the R word. Who is cause? Who is responsible? Look in the mirror. Who keeps showing up at the scene of the crime? Look in the mirror. I love that phrase because it's so accusatory. But you point the finger and three more point back. Right? All right, I love you guys. I'm going to stop talking. Who's got some thoughts? Jayton, come on out, my friend Jayton. How are you, sir? What's going on with you?
I'm very good, John. Thank you. And the reason why I raised my hand up front was because I know I need to leave earlier today. So there are three things which I'm going to share with everyone. And I must say up front that the inspiration is based on what you have said today. So the first two are statements of fact, and I know that they may or may not resonate with everyone immediately, but when everyone reflects, including yourself, John, you will see the wisdom in what I'm about to say, which, like I said, the inspiration is partly from what you have said and partly from what I've read. I'm hoping to take not more than 4 minutes for this or less than 3. So the first statement is based on what you said around cause and effect, right? So I will make this statement. If you want to know where you are today in your life, look at the causes you've created in the recent past or the past. So therefore, you know where you are in the present. If you want to know where you are or where you will be in the near future, in the near or medium term future, look at the causes you are creating in the present. I hope that makes sense to you, John. And then if anyone has questions, they can, extrapolate on that and you can answer that. Second statement of fact is related to the analogy you made with the saber tooth and trying to get something done, right? So to me, that personally equates as desperation, i.e. saber tooth, determination, i.e. succeed, right? So I am someone who is sometimes driven by desperation, i.e. a saber tooth is on your derriere, French for behind, that is going after you, so you got to get something done. And determination is based on the fact that you need to succeed. Yeah, so that's the second statement of fact. So we as human beings will always get something done when we are that either desperate enough to get something done or we are either that determined to get something done. If it's anywhere in the middle, it takes longer. And I will leave that for everyone to reflect, because that again is a statement of fact of everyone's life. And I guarantee when people will think about it, they will come to say, oh yeah, he was right in some way, shape or form. My third question now is this, and this is something where I need your input. I'm glad I'm keeping to time. What is your advice in either 3 words or one statement for someone who has been on the program for 3.5 to 4 weeks and for whatever reason has not seen results? And this relates to your FEAR, you've got your focus, emotional commitment. A, I lose, and R is for responsibility. So A, I assume, is accountability.
Action.
There you go. So for someone in that position, 3.5, 4 weeks has not seen any results, what are the 3 words or the one statement you would say to keep them going on this journey? Because when they know in their heart it's the right thing to do, however, as you know, a journey is a journey. And during a journey, there are various circumstances and scenarios you face as humans that might either deviate you or keep you on the path. I hope that makes sense.
It does. Thank you. And thank you for not limiting me to 3 words. So it's the same guy who last week was like, please give us two points. I'm like, what? Well, why 2? Anyway.
Come on, you've got 2 minutes, John. We have to keep this to time, right? I want others to contribute.
Okay.
I need your wisdom.
Okay. So here's the thing. You are getting results. So that's a lie. Okay. So the result is you are that much further down the path than you were before. All right. Now, if we fail to acknowledge that, well, you could just sit here and keep looking at the starting line, like the thing you were talking about before, where here's the desperation, okay, versus the inspiration. So it's way more inspirational to move toward what we want than just out of what we don't want. But if we fixate our attention on what we don't have or what we haven't accomplished yet, yeah, you're never going to win, right? So we have to acknowledge ourselves. We have to, that which we validate expands. So I validate that I am that much further down the line. Now, if we can see in ourselves our own patterns of work avoidance, or, you know what, I didn't quite reach as far as I could have reached. I want to stay comfortable. Okay, well, how long do you want to go like that? I'll tell you what happened with me, Jayton and everyone. I got into this business. It cost me like $20-something thousand, and I was playing to not lose. And I was trying to do everything right. And I was introverting on it. I hope I'm doing this right. And I'll try. Well, let me do just a little bit more. I don't want to reach too much because, if I risk, right? And so I just got to the point where I got pissed off. I was like, screw this. I will succeed or I will be a bloody corpse. And immediately people started throwing credit cards at me. What changed? I stopped playing to not lose. I started playing to win. I started cutting off all the, separating the wheat from the chaff, so here's the fruitful things that I could do. And there's all the stuff that's taking up my time and introverting me, right? That I just don't care about anymore. There's a book that actually my father sent me. Hold on. And I'm not necessarily recommending this. It's kind of, if you get the title, you probably much get the whole book. But yeah, there you go. So like, what will they think? And I don't know if I want to actually, hurt the cat. I mean, the cat needs to eat too. No, kill the freaking cat, right? Or it's going to kill you, right? So that's sort of a more decided approach. A more definite approach. Napoleon Hill talked about in Think and Grow Rich, definiteness of purpose, definiteness of decision, creating a white hot obsession with success. And so what Jayton just brought up, I think is profound, because half measures avail us nothing. And so you got to take your own inventory, right? I mean, since you're introverting on it anyway, since you're looking at all the stuff that you haven't gotten done or that you haven't achieved yet, okay, well then, great. Since I'm looking at me right now, how can I get out of my own way? How can I get out of my own way? Right? Because it's the same data, it's the same opportunity, it's the same e-commerce, internet, all of it that's making Rachel 100 grand a month or whatever she's up to. Right? And we're sitting here, navel gazing or something. Thank you, Jayton. I don't know if that's, you know what, it sounds like you and I need to have a little one-on-one time because you're quite a thinker. You know, you come up with this stuff. Anyway, maybe this will serve you. Who else? Thank you, brother. Oh, you know what? Come on out, Jayton. You had a retort or something?
No, I was just going to say thank you. I'm unfortunately going to have to leave in the next 5 minutes. But again, I just wanted to say one other thing to everyone. Very often in life, we don't express our gratitude to everyone in our environment. So I want to take this opportunity after 3.5 weeks to express my gratitude, not only to yourself, John, but to everyone else, the 78 odd people that are on this call, including yourself, John, because being there makes a difference. 3 weeks ago, that number was averaging at 50, 51, John, and I'm really good analytically, so I do my math well. That number is now averaging 75. So for folks that have not been here, I can testify to the fact that average number has gone up. And I want to just express my gratitude for all the insight that everyone has shared, because just being grateful for your environment and what the environment gives back to you is something that we often tend to overlook or not see and recognize. And I just wanted to take a moment to recognize that. So thank you, everyone. And thanks, John. I'm unfortunately going to have to leave in the next 2 to 3 minutes, but thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jayton. And I am so looking forward to hearing you telling us all about how much money you made. I'm just postulating 90 days, 6 months. Here's who Jayton is showing up as. And I'm seeing you as that now. That's your guaranteed future outcome, says me, and hopefully says you. So awesome stuff. And if you guys were vague on the book, somebody put it in the chat. If you want to go ahead, I wouldn't say run out and buy it. It's just, it's brash for the sake of being brash. But it's, if you want to kind of get out of your own way a bit and stop letting others rent space in your head, that would be a good book to read. Annette. Hi, Annette. And then we'll go to Alannah. Hi, Annette. What's your story? Where's Annette?
Okay, unmuted?
Yes.
Yeah. You said something that reminded me of the phrase, watch the feet, not the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And a similar phrase to that is let people walk with their feet. So what he was just saying reminds me of how, like we want to be here. You're not forcing us to be here watching you. We want to be here. Our little feet would walk away if we weren't getting so much out of it. And how to apply, like I can see with other people, maybe watch the feet, not the mouth, especially with the crooked tenant downstairs. Yeah, I'm going to pay tomorrow. I'm going to pay tomorrow. Never did. Anyway, but how am I going to apply it to myself here in this course? Watch the feet, not the mouth, to show that how can I prove to myself that I'm moving forward?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
By taking inventory of what we are or are not doing. And I think Miracle Morning is a great place to start, because when you do,
I haven't read that.
when we do resourceful things at the outset of each day, we put ourselves in an unfair advantage to continue doing resourceful things. In other words, inertia works both ways. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Okay, so you got to choose at the outset.
Okay.
How's that sound?
That sounds good. An object in motion stays in motion. That'll be a good example to me that I'm, in fact, moving forward every day.
Right. And then you know what else happens? And here's the byproduct of that. Efficiency, right? So that which took you 2 hours to accomplish today, 90 days from now, it's 10 seconds, and maybe it's not even on your calendar.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Good.
Right. That's called competence, right? But that comes with actually doing it, right?
Competence.
You don't just sit there and philosophize about it.
No.
Right. You're awesome.
And finally, I love the use of the word derriere. So gentlemanly. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We need to bring that back. Back. Yeah, that's a great.
Okay, thanks.
Switching on my camera just to say you're welcome. Who's the Annette? Take care. That's a little bit a la Europe. Take care, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you, brother. All right. Glad you're here. Another word that I think we should bring back is Poppycock. I love that word. We just don't say that often enough. Poppycock. Yeah. All right. Alannah, you've got the floor, and then we'll go to Becky. Hi, Alannah.
Oops, am I
There
on?
she is. You're on.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Wow. Oh boy, a couple things to talk about here. I don't want to lose my train of thought either. What Annette said though, and what you said, it's not going to take 90 days to perfect your skills, to improve your skills. If you're doing it every day, you're always learning something that's going to add to yesterday's. Uh-oh, wait a second. You guys are frozen. Oh no. Are you hearing me?
Well, I hear you, but I don't see you. I hear you.
Okay, what the heck happened?
Your camera's off.
Start video? Okay, I have no idea why it shut off. Oh my
I don't
God.
know either.
What's happening? Start video.
Amazing
I
world
didn't
of
do anything.
technology.
Oh, wait a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it doing that? I have
I don't
no
know.
idea.
Me neither.
Oh my God. I started to talk and I went, no picture, right?
It's all right. It's all right. We're getting your communication. So keep it.
Okay,
keep it
so
going.
anyways, so the important thing is every day you're adding, as long as you're doing it. You see, it's not like, my feeling is we're getting excellent training here. Follow the videos. Don't overthink it. Just follow the videos. Yesterday I started with working on one text. Well, that one text became 5 texts that I'm going to be putting on mugs, okay? I was initially nervous at the outset to start this process, and I just, like, even to the point of just logging into Pixplosion. Got into Pixplosion, discovered it wasn't as hard as I was thinking it was going to be. Just don't overthink it. Just take the steps one at a time. Today, it's going to take me less time. Tomorrow, 20 seconds. I'm going to be uploading my stuff. So give yourself credit for being able to pick up this stuff faster than you believe you will be able to. It's really simple, really simple. The next thing, I wanted to address what Jaden said about determination and the opposite end of the scale, which was, oh, what was it? John, remind me here. He said determination was on one end and
desperation.
Desperation. And he forgot one thing though, because there's something in human nature, there's fight, flight, or freeze. And because of what's happened in my past, I tend to freeze in fear. And so the desperation part is not a motivator. It's not a sufficient motivator for me, unfortunately. It makes me freeze out of fear, okay? So what's been really helpful is doing proper daily visualization and listening to the motivating like tapes. But I have a certain one that I listen to, and it takes me into that. Here's the secret. It's the what if I could. That seems to disarm all of those feelings and thoughts that are negative, that are limiting for us, because suddenly you're not butting your head. God, I wish you could see me. You are not butting your head up against the limitations that your brain, what is the heck problem here? Anyways.
I just
whatever.
offered you a button to click on, ask to
Where is
start
it?
video.
Where is it? I have
I
it
don't
at the
know.
bottom. I clicked on, I know, start my video. I did. It's like,
Okay,
not
well, it's just not working out.
anyways, so that's a huge thing. Start thinking in terms of what if I could. It will transcend the limitations that your logical brain is setting up for you. And suddenly you're going into your daydream land, your daydream where you have no limitations. You start sitting in those possibilities every day and loving yourself, and you're going to change. It's going to change you, and you're going to start dreaming bigger. You're going to start moving forward more with fewer limitations. It's powerful beyond belief. The third thing, you mentioned yesterday about when we're preparing these mugs, and as opposed to selling to people, the service we're doing for people. 4, that little change in the one word made such a difference for me. This morning, I was, like I say, I started working really on this. This is my first time really diving into that last night. And I have, for the past month, I've been preparing for this. I have more than 100 texts that I have, more than 100 in a book that I've been writing them down every time. And so I started working on one of them last night. Like I say, it became 5. This morning, I'm getting ready, I'm washing up, I'm doing the morning stuff. And all of a sudden it becomes, I think of what you said, John, 4, because I was thinking of another text in my mind for what I want to put on a mug. And I realized that gives me purpose. I have purpose in this. I'm not just, it's not for me. There's funny mugs. I do some of the funnies and I do some with purpose and inspiration. And this one was inspirational. I realized it no longer became for the money. It became for truly giving people something of substance that could help them. Oh my God. So freaking motivating, so empowering, so purposeful, so, oh man, I wish you could, my damn video, come back.
That's great.
Oh man.
Wow. All this, and how long you been hanging around with us, Alannah? Like 2 days or something? Wow.
Yeah, 2-3 days. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, well, see, I started preparing for this. I visited, I saw Rachel's presentation. Hold on a second.
Okay. We got to move on because we're going to come to the top of the hour.
Oh man, just, yeah, I'll be back. And, you know, it's like, yeah.
Well, glad you're here, my friend. Welcome. This is just the beginning. That's Alannah, everyone. She's awesome. Good times. Hey, guess who we're going to hear from now? One of my favorite people in the Milky Way galaxy, and that is none other than Becky Hobkirk. Hi, Becky. How are you?
Hi, John. Hi, I'm
Good to
doing
see
really well.
you. Right.
Really well. I won't take too long. I just wanted to say a couple of things. In a way, going on from what Jason was saying and Danette, and it was amazing hearing Alannah's emotion and joy. But for me, the miracle morning that you recommended has been fantastic. I have a full-time job, which kind of takes up 10 to 12 hours a day, which is why I'm doing this, because I want to create a different life for myself. But for people who are working and trying to think, how do you find the time to do this? It is a question of prioritizing. And I think the miracle morning was amazing, just in terms of, so what I do, I get up at 6, not yet the 5 o'clock. I haven't quite done 5 o'clock yet, but I get up at 6 and I've decided that my time between 6 and 9 o'clock is focusing on this. So I get up and I do the meditations and the visualizations, all the stuff in the miracle morning process. I go out for a run and then I come back and then I've got a couple of hours where I focus on this. And I do this before my day starts with work. And then I'm giving myself 9 till 6 in the day. Sometimes it might work, I might be working till 8 or 9 or 10, but I'm trying to squeeze it into just 9 hours. And then if I need to do this, I've got some more time in the evening. So it really is being structured. It's prioritizing it. And actually by devoting that time to it, you just start to learn. And, I've been here 3.5 weeks. I was meeting a friend last night, trying to explain what have I learned over the last 3.5 weeks. I had no idea of what to do with computers, but if you think of it, setting up an Etsy store, setting up Gear Bubble, making those connect, thinking about the designs, learning how to use Pixplosion or PicMonkey and getting those designs uploaded to Gear Bubble, trying to open an Amazon account. I mean, they're all huge things. They're all incredible parts of the process that we've all got to learn. Now, we may want to outsource some of that in the future, but as somebody setting up our own businesses, which is what we're doing, if we don't actually understand how that whole process works, you don't know which bits you want to keep for yourself, which bits you want to outsource. So I think it's so easy to focus on the process and get bogged down with that, and to get a bit overwhelmed by the amount that we have to learn. But if you just, maybe just decide on 2 or 3 things each day, or 1 thing each day. But if you look back on it after 3.5 weeks, I'm not the same person I was 3.5 weeks ago. So I think the Miracle Morning is amazing to create space, and then making this a real priority and finding a way to build it into our lives, and looking at, as you said earlier today, what have we achieved, not focusing on the negative. You focus on the negative, you just bring in more negative into your life.
Right.
If you think something's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So turn it around and think it will.
Thank you, Becky. And you're getting a lot of love in the chat as well. That is beautiful. And look, you are so able, right? And not just Becky, but everyone here, right? But Becky in particular, right? We've had a chance to have a bit of time together as you've gotten ready to launch your business, and wow, I have no doubt about what heights you can take this to. So glad you're here, my friend. That's Becky, everyone. Awesome. All right. I think we got time for one more. Actually, we're over time. I don't care. I just told my other meeting that I'm going to be a couple minutes late because I'm right now working with some of my favorite people. One of those is Martha McKenzie. Hi, Martha. Take us home. What are we going to wrap up with here today? You've got the floor.
Hi, it's my first time here.
Yay.
And I am enjoying the time. It's very inspirational. At the same time, I thought I'd add my own 2 little cents of what I've been learning along the way. One of the things that I really liked is how he, the first person, Jaden, I'm just going to add on this, what came to my mind is something that Tony Robbins often says, where focus goes, energy flows. If you're going to think on negativity, it's going to bring negative thought results. If you're going to think on positivity, of course, it's going to bring positive results. So, we need to get our focus on the right things. And something that really, the persistency of continuing on being persistent. It's not going to take overnight it doesn't take overnight to build a mountain. So why do we expect that when we're going into business that it's going to do the same thing? We have to work at it. We have to set our mind and say, I'm going to do this no matter what. I'll become resourceful. I will learn what I need to do. I'm going to build my skills. I'm going to take the action that I need, and so on. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Important thing, every day I'm becoming the person I am meant to be. I am growing. There's no such thing as failure. It is my learning and growth time. If one thing doesn't work, then I'm going to try something different. And I'm going to keep on trying something different until it does work. And that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Martha. Welcome to the group. So glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And as was indicated by Jayton, who did have to leave, but who is apparently tracking statistics in his noodle over there, right? Wow, this is just the beginning. We're now up to, we had 81 people on here yesterday, plus about twice as many people watch the replay, right? So welcome, Martha. You're still right here towards the beginning of all this. So
definitely.
Yeah, good times. All right. And with that, we're already 3 minutes past the hour. I will see you all again here tomorrow. In the meantime, let's see what we can get done today. One thing you should definitely get done if you are newer here and working with an accountability rep is keep going through the accelerator program. And ultimately, we are going to be having some time together on a business launch session, which is really a big deal, really big deal. So I'll see you all again real soon. Make it a great day. All right.